The chandelier's crystal fragments hadn't finished falling when the screaming started. Marcus Reed lowered his binoculars from the hotel room window, watching chaos erupt in Prague's Grand Embassy Hall below. Through the shattered skylight, he could see the Austrian ambassador's body sprawled across the mahogany conference table, a spreading crimson stain soaking into documents that would never be signed. The peace summit, 6 months of delicate negotiations, had just ended in 17 seconds of precise violence. "Did you get her on camera?" Marcus asked, not turning from the window. "Negative." Ryan Chen's voice crackled through his earpiece. Facial recognition caught nothing. It's like she was never there. But she had been. Marcus knew her signature as surely as he knew his own reflection. The single shot from an impossible angle. The timing, during the toast, when glasses were raised and security naturally relaxed. And there, glinting on the ambassador's chest like a macabre medal, would be her calling card. His phone buzzed. Director Cromwell's name flashed on the screen. "You're on the next flight to Vienna," Cromwell said without preamble. "Pack light. You're back in the field." Marcus had been nursing a whiskey in Prague, supposedly on administrative leave after the Barcelona incident. But they both knew he'd been watching, waiting. 3 assassinations in 6 weeks. Each victim a key figure in international intelligence or diplomacy. Each death technically impossible. "The silver card?" Marcus asked. "Forensics confirmed it. Same as London and Cairo." Cromwell paused. "Marcus, I need the best on this. That means you." The flight to Vienna took 90 minutes. Marcus spent them studying crime scene photos on a secure tablet. The London kill had been at a charity gala. A British MI6 section chief dropped dead during his speech. Poison delivered through micro-punctures in his champagne flute. Cairo was messier. A Mossad liaison officer thrown from a 20th floor balcony, though every door and window had been locked from the inside. And now Prague. Each scene had one element in common. A silver card, no bigger than a playing card, marked with a single symbol, a stylized phoenix rising from geometric flames. Diana Cross met him at Vienna International Airport, looking exactly as she had 3 years ago when they'd worked together in Moscow. Sharp cheekbones, auburn hair pulled back, the kind of beauty that could be either an asset or a weapon, depending on the mission. "Hello, Marcus." She handed him a folder. "Cromwell wants you briefed immediately." He flipped through the pages as she drove. No reliable witness descriptions, no DNA evidence, no digital footprint. It's like we're chasing a ghost. "The media's calling her Silver Girl," Diana said, merging onto the highway. "Some journalist in London coined it. The name stuck." "Her?" Marcus looked up. "We've confirmed gender?" Cairo balcony had partial heel impressions in the carpet. Size 7, European. The angle of the London poisoning suggested someone 5'6" or shorter. It's an educated guess, but Cromwell's convinced. Marcus studied the phoenix symbol. This isn't random. These aren't contracts. She's sending a message. To whom? That's what I intend to find out. The Vienna safe house was a renovated apartment in the 2nd district, overlooking the Danube Canal. Ryan had already set up his mobile command center. 6 monitors, encrypted satellite uplinks, enough processing power to hack half of Europe. "I've been analyzing the victims," Ryan said, pulling up their profiles. At first glance, nothing connects them. Different nationalities, different agencies, different operational focuses. "At first glance," Marcus repeated. "What about at second?" Ryan's fingers flew across the keyboard. "I ran deeper correlation algorithms. 15 years ago, all 3 victims were part of a joint task force. Operation Blackwater. Marcus felt his pulse quicken. Blackwater had been before his time, but he'd heard whispers. An off-the-books operation that had gone catastrophically wrong. Records sealed, participants sworn to secrecy. Who else was on that task force? He asked. That's where it gets interesting. Ryan pulled up another screen. The records are mostly redacted, but I found fragments. At least 12 operatives from various agencies. Our 3 victims, plus 9 others. She's hunting them, Diana said quietly. This is revenge. Marcus stared at the phoenix symbol. Rising from ashes, rebirth through destruction. Pull everything you can on Blackwater and Ryan. Already on it, boss. I'm tracking all surviving task force members, if we can predict her next target. An alert flashed across the screens. Marcus leaned forward, reading the intelligence feed. Geneva, he breathed. The International Security Summit. Tomorrow night. Diana's face paled. Half the intelligence community will be there. If she's targeting Blackwater survivors, she'll have a buffet to choose from. Marcus was already moving, grabbing gear from the wall safe. Ryan, get me the guest list. Cross-reference with any possible Blackwater connections. Diana, we need transport to Geneva. Now. As they prepared to leave, Marcus took one last look at the silver card on Ryan's screen. The phoenix stared back at him, its geometric wings spread wide. Somewhere out there, Silver Girl was planning her next impossible kill. And Marcus Reed had less than 24 hours to stop her. Geneva's Palace of Nations glowed against the evening sky, its modernist architecture transformed into a fortress of security. Marcus counted 3 helicopter patrols, rooftop snipers at every corner, and enough ground personnel to invade a small country. Yet none of it would matter if Silver Girl had already found her way inside. 47 potential targets. Ryan's voice came through the earpiece as Marcus moved through the security checkpoint. I've identified 6 confirmed Blackwater operatives on tonight's guest list. Another dozen possibles. Diana walked beside him, her evening gown concealing a Glock 19 and enough surveillance equipment to map the entire building. Cromwell's already inside, she murmured. He wants an update. Marcus scanned the grand ballroom through the entrance doors. 500 of the world's most powerful intelligence officials, diplomats, and defense contractors, all pretending to enjoy champagne while calculating each other's worth as allies or threats. Tell him we're watching the patterns, Marcus replied. She always strikes during moments of orchestrated chaos. The toast, the keynote, something that draws attention. Marcus. Ryan's voice turned sharp. Facial recognition just pinged. Northwestern entrance, service corridor. But when Marcus checked his phone's tactical display, the image showed only a server in standard catering uniform. Female, approximately 5'6", face partially obscured by a serving cart. That's impossible, Diana said, studying the same feed. The recognition system wouldn't trigger on. The lights went out. Emergency power kicked in a second later, bathing the ballroom in harsh white illumination. In that single second of darkness, Marcus heard it. A soft whistle of displaced air, the distinctive sound of a suppressed shot. Move. He pushed through the crowd, Diana right behind him. The guests were murmuring, confused, but not yet panicked. Security was already converging on the main stage where General Morrison stood at the podium, looking puzzled, alive, unharmed. False alarm, Diana asked. Marcus's instincts screamed otherwise. Ryan, full sweep. Every room, every... Got her! Ryan's fingers flew across his keyboard back in Vienna. Basement level, heading for the old tunnel system. Marcus, she just took out 4 guards. They're alive but unconscious. How did she... Marcus was already running, taking the service stairs 3 at a time. Diana's heels clicked behind him until she stopped, kicked them off, and continued barefoot. The basement was a maze of storage rooms and mechanical systems, but Marcus knew these blueprints by heart. The old tunnels connected to the lake, a Cold War relic when the palace needed discreet evacuation routes. He rounded a corner and saw her. Silver Girl stood at the tunnel entrance, no longer in server's clothes, but dressed in form-fitting tactical gear. She was smaller than he'd expected, more dancer than soldier, with dark hair pulled back in a tight braid. When she turned to face him, Marcus found himself looking into eyes the color of winter storms. "Marcus Reed," she said, her accent unplaceable. "You're exactly 3 minutes early." Before he could respond, she raised a hand, not threatening, just a gesture to wait. Behind Marcus, he heard footsteps. Heavy, multiple contacts. "Down!" Silver Girl shouted. Marcus dropped as bullets shattered the concrete where his head had been. He rolled, came up firing, his sig sour, finding targets in the darkness. Not security. These were professionals. Black ops, no insignia, shoot to kill precision. Silver Girl moved like liquid mercury, her twin pistols creating a deadly symphony. When the last attacker fell, she and Marcus stood back to back, weapons trained on opposite ends of the corridor. "We need to talk," she said. "You're under arrest." She actually laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "For which murder?" "Morrison, check your phone." Marcus didn't lower his weapon, but he glanced at his screen. Ryan was screaming through the earpiece. "Marcus, General Morrison just collapsed in the ballroom. Poison. He's dead." "Impossible. You were here." "I was stopping the real assassination." Silver Girl interrupted. "Morrison wasn't my target. He was bait." She pulled something from her vest, a silver card. "Someone's using my signature, my methods. They wanted you to chase me here while they completed their real objective." "Why should I believe you?" "Because in 30 seconds, Cromwell is going to order your termination." She tilted her head, listening to something Marcus couldn't hear. "You've been designated a rogue asset. Diana Cross has been instructed to execute you on sight." "That's ridiculous." His phone buzzed. Cromwell's override code flashed across the screen, followed by 2 words that made Marcus's blood run cold. "Kill order." Silver Girl was already moving toward the tunnel. "You can stay and die, or come with me and learn the truth about Blackwater. Your choice, Marcus, but choose fast." Above them, Marcus could hear boots, tactical teams descending. Diana's voice came through his earpiece, pained. "Marcus, don't make me do this. Please." He looked at Silver Girl, at the tunnel that promised escape and answers, then at the stairs where his former partner would soon appear with orders to kill him. 15 seconds, Silver Girl said. Marcus Reed made his choice. The tunnels stretched into darkness, their footsteps echoing off century-old concrete. Marcus kept his weapon trained on Silver Girl's back, even as they ran. Trust was a luxury he couldn't afford, even if she'd just saved his life. "The boat's this way," she said, taking a sharp left into a drainage channel. "We have maybe 3 minutes before they flood these tunnels with gas." "How do you know their protocols?" "Because I helped write them." She glanced back, her storm gray eyes unreadable. Back when I still believed in the system. They emerged at Lake Geneva's edge, where a sleek speedboat waited. Silver Girl didn't hesitate, jumping in and firing up the engine. Marcus followed, his phone vibrating with increasingly urgent messages from Ryan. "Boss, what's happening?" Ryan's voice crackled through the earpiece. "Cromwell's locked me out of the system. They're saying you've gone rogue, that you're working with Silver Girl." "Ryan, listen carefully," Marcus said as the boat roared across the dark water. "Download everything you can on Operation Blackwater, then go dark. Full Protocol 7. Protocol 7? But that's only for... Do it now." Marcus pulled out his earpiece and crushed it under his heel. He turned to Silver Girl. "Start talking." She steered toward the French side of the lake, her face illuminated by the boat's instruments. "My name is Sarah Mitchell. My father was David Mitchell, CIA operative, leader of Blackwater." Marcus knew that name. Mitchell was a legend until he disappeared 15 years ago, presumed dead. Blackwater wasn't what the records say. Sarah continued. It wasn't a counter-terrorism operation. It was an assassination program targeting political dissidents, journalists, anyone who threatened certain interests. My father discovered the truth and tried to stop it. So they killed him. Who's they? The same people who just ordered your death. Cromwell's been running a shadow network inside Western intelligence for decades. Morrison, the London victim, Cairo, they were all part of it. But they got nervous, wanted out. So Cromwell decided to clean house and frame you for it. Sarah's laugh was bitter. I'd already killed 3 of them over the past 2 years. Different methods, no signatures. Cromwell must have figured out it was me. So he copied my new style, added the silver cards, and created Silver Girl, a phantom assassin he could use to eliminate threats while hunting me at the same time. The boat slowed as they approached a private dock. Marcus could see a car waiting, engine running. "Why the Phoenix symbol?" he asked. "My father's call sign. I wanted them to know his daughter was coming for them." She killed the engine, turned to face him fully. "I didn't know about you, Marcus. You weren't supposed to be involved, but now that you are." Marcus's phone buzzed. Diana's number. Against his better judgment, he answered. "Marcus, please." Diana's voice was strained. "Come in. We can protect you. Cromwell says it's all a misunderstanding." "Diana, what was Morrison carrying when he died?" Silence. Then, "What?" "General Morrison, what was in his jacket pocket?" Marcus, why does that matter?" He felt his chest tighten. She didn't know, which meant she hadn't been there, hadn't seen the body. "You're not in Geneva anymore, are you?" A pause. "Cromwell recalled me to Vienna." "Marcus, he has shooters heading to every safe house. Ryan's already in custody. They're saying you killed Morrison, that Silver Girl turned you..." Sarah snatched the phone. "Agent Cross?" "Check the Vienna morgue 2 hours ago. They brought in a body matching Ryan Chen's description. Suicide, they'll say. He knew too much." Marcus felt the world tilt. "You're lying." Sarah handed back the phone. On the other end, Diana was breathing hard. "Oh, God. Marcus, I'm looking at the report now. Ryan's dead. They're saying he helped you plan Morrison's death, that he couldn't live with the guilt." Marcus ended the call. His hands were shaking. Rage, not fear. Ryan had been 26 years old, brilliant, loyal to a fault. "I'm sorry," Sarah said quietly, "but this is what they do. Anyone who gets close to the truth, Shut up. Marcus checked his weapon, counted ammunition. Where's Cromwell now? You can't just... Where? Sarah studied him for a moment. He'll be at the Albany compound. It's where they run the real operations, away from official oversight. But Marcus, it's a fortress. We'd need someone who knows their protocols, their weaknesses. He looked at her. Someone who helped write them. For the first time since he'd met her, Sarah Mitchell smiled. It was sharp, dangerous, and exactly what Marcus needed. There's an arms dealer in Zurich, she said. Victor Kashev. He supplied black water, knows where all the bodies are buried, literally. If we're going to war with Cromwell, we'll need his resources. Marcus thought of Ryan, young and eager, probably dead before he even knew what was happening. Then that's where we start. They climbed into the waiting car. As Sarah drove them into the night, Marcus sent one last text to Diana. Find out who really killed Morrison. The truth is bigger than both of us. Her response came quickly. Be careful. They're hunting you with everything they have. Marcus turned off his phone. From now on, he was Ghost. Just like Silver Girl. The Zurich safe house smelled of gun oil and expensive cigars. Victor Kashev sat behind an antique desk, his scarred hands folded over a Makarov pistol. He was older than Marcus had expected, 60 perhaps, with the careful movements of a man who'd survived too many wars to trust anyone completely. Sarah Mitchell, Victor said, his Russian accent thick. I wondered when you would come. Your father spoke of you often. Sarah remained standing, her posture coiled like a spring. You supplied black water? You knew what they were doing. I knew what they told me. Counterterrorism, saving the world. Victor's laugh was hollow. By the time I learned the truth, your father was already dead. Marcus stepped forward. We need weapons, intelligence, and a way into the Albany compound. Victor's eyes shifted to him. Marcus Reed. The hunter who became the hunted. Cromwell has placed a $10 million bounty on your head. Every mercenary in Europe is looking for you. Then we'd better work fast. Victor stood, walked to a wall map marked with red pins. Albany is impossible. 30 guards, biometric locks, satellite surveillance. Even if you got in, Cromwell has a dead man's switch. Any unauthorized breach triggers a data purge and sets off enough explosives to level 3 city blocks. There has to be a way, Sarah insisted. Perhaps. Victor touched one of the pins. In 2 days, there's an emergency summit in Monaco. After Morrison's death, every intelligence director will attend, including Cromwell. He'll take a skeleton crew, leaving Albany vulnerable. It's still a fortress, Marcus said. Yes, but fortresses have servants. Victor smiled grimly. There's a technician, Eric Hoffman. He maintains Albany's servers. His daughter has leukemia, expensive treatments, desperate father. He could be convinced to help. Sarah and Marcus exchanged glances. Using a desperate parent felt wrong, but they were running out of options. What's Cromwell planning? Sarah asked. This isn't just about covering up Blackwater. Victor returned to his desk, pulled out a folder. 3 weeks ago, one of my contacts intercepted communications about Operation Prometheus, a false flag attack during the Monaco summit, designed to look like Russian aggression. Cromwell will use the chaos to justify expanded powers, unlimited budgets, zero oversight. He's going to start a war, Marcus breathed. To win a different one, Victor corrected. The war for control of Western intelligence. With enough fear, governments will hand him everything. Marcus's phone vibrated, an encrypted message from Diana. Morrison was carrying evidence about Prometheus. That's why he was killed. Cromwell knows I know. Help. He showed it to Sarah, who immediately tensed. It's a trap. Maybe. Or maybe she's finally seeing the truth, Victor interrupted. If you're going to stop Prometheus, you need more than just Hoffman's access. You need someone inside the summit, someone Cromwell trusts. Diana, Marcus said quietly. She's still in his inner circle. The woman ordered to kill you? Sarah's voice was sharp. You're betting our lives on your ex-girlfriend's conscience? She didn't pull the trigger. That means something. Sarah turned away, frustrated. Victor watched them with interest. There's something else, the arms dealer said. Sarah, your father left something in my care. He said if anything happened to him, I should give it to his daughter when she was ready. He opened a safe, pulled out a small drive. I believe you're ready now. Sarah took it with trembling hands. What is it? The real Blackwater files. Names, dates, operations. Everything Cromwell thought was destroyed. The room fell silent. Marcus understood the weight of what Victor had just handed them. Enough evidence to destroy Cromwell, but also enough to make them the most hunted people on Earth. We need to move, Marcus said. Victor, can you arrange transport to Monaco? Already done. But understand, once you commit to this path, there's no returning. Cromwell has resources you can't imagine. Even if you succeed, you'll never be safe. Sarah inserted the drive into her laptop, her father's files flooding the screen. Her face hardened as she read. These people, Cromwell's network, they've been orchestrating conflicts for 20 years. Thousands dead, all for power. Marcus saw tears in her eyes, quickly blinked away. He placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll stop them. Will we? She looked up at him. Or will we just become them? How many people are we willing to sacrifice to get justice? It was the question that had haunted Marcus since Ryan's death. He didn't have an answer. Victor stood. The boat leaves in 3 hours. I've arranged weapons, communications, everything you'll need. But Sarah is right. This path demands sacrifices. Be certain you're willing to pay them. As they prepared to leave, Marcus sent a coded message to Diana. Monaco. Prometheus. Choose a side. Her response was immediate. Already have. God help us all. Sarah watched him pocket the phone. You're going to trust her? I'm going to trust that she loved Ryan too, Marcus replied. Sometimes that's enough. They left Zurich as the sun set. 2 ghosts preparing to prevent a war that most of the world didn't even know was coming. Session 5. The Truth. The yacht's cabin was cramped, but secure. Sarah sat hunched over her laptop, her father's files casting blue light across her face. Marcus watched her scroll through document after document. Assassination orders, financial records, names of the dead. He tried to stop it, she whispered, pausing on a video file. Look. David Mitchell's face filled the screen, recorded 15 years ago. He looked exhausted, desperate. If you're watching this, I'm dead, his voice said. Blackwater was never about terrorism. Cromwell, Morrison, the others. They're eliminating obstacles to a new world order. Corporate interests, defense contractors, intelligence agencies, all merged into one shadow government. I have proof, but they know I know. Sarah, baby, if you ever see this, don't come after them. Live your life, please. Sarah closed the laptop, her jaw tight. He knew I wouldn't listen. He knew you were his daughter, Marcus corrected. Strong, stubborn, brilliant. She looked at him. Something shifting in her storm-gray eyes. Your partner, Ryan. Tell me about him. Marcus wasn't expecting that. He was everything I'm not, optimistic. Believed the system could be fixed from within. 26 years old and convinced he could save the world with a keyboard and enough coffee. Cromwell took that from you. From him. Sarah stood, moved to the porthole. Monaco's lights glittered in the distance. My father was the only family I had. When Cromwell killed him, I became someone else. Something else. You became what you needed to survive. No. She turned. I became what they created. A weapon. Just like they wanted, only pointed in the wrong direction. A knock interrupted them. Diana Cross entered, and the temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. Hello, Marcus. She looked at Sarah. Silver Girl. Agent Cross. Sarah's hand drifted to her sidearm. Come to finish the job? Come to help? Diana placed a tablet on the table. Prometheus is worse than you know. It's not just a false flag. Cromwell's planning to detonate a radiological device during the summit. Pin it on Russian separatists. The death toll will be catastrophic. Marcus studied the schematics on the tablet. This is the Monte Carlo Convention Center. These markings. Bomb placement. Diana confirmed. Cromwell's team is already inside, posing as security contractors. The device arrives tomorrow morning in a diplomatic pouch. Untouchable, unscannable. Why help us? Sarah demanded. Diana met her gaze. Because Ryan Chen saved my life in Belgrade 3 years ago. Because Marcus is the only clean operative I've ever known. Because if I don't, I'll never sleep again. Marcus felt the pieces clicking together. You've been feeding us information all along. The Geneva tip, Morrison's location. I've been trying to keep you alive while maintaining my cover. Diana pulled out a secure phone. Cromwell trusts me to handle his problems. That's our way in. Sarah laughed bitterly. You want to walk us into a trap? No. I want to walk you past every trap. Diana opened another file. Eric Hoffman agreed to help. He'll create a system vulnerability at Albany while Cromwell's in Monaco. You can upload the Blackwater files directly to every intelligence network simultaneously. CIA, MI6, Mossad, everyone. While you and I stop the bomb, Marcus concluded. It's suicide, Sarah said flatly. The moment we show our faces, I'll be there, a new voice said from the doorway. Viktor Kashev entered, carrying a heavy case. My men are already in position. We can give you 30 minutes, maybe 40. Marcus looked around the room. A burned spy, an assassin, a double agent, and an arms dealer. This is insane. This is necessary, Victor corrected. Cromwell's network has tentacles everywhere. Cut off the head, the body dies. Sarah returned to her father's files, pulled up a building schematic. The Albany compound has a weakness. During a system reboot, there's a 17-second window where the biometric locks default to mechanical. If Hoffman triggers it, we can get in. Marcus finished. Upload everything before they know what's happening. Diana checked her watch. The summit starts in 18 hours. Cromwell's flying in at dawn. His security detail will be split between the convention center and his hotel, where he'll be waiting for reports of our deaths, Sarah added darkly. Marcus made the decision. We do both. Sarah and Victor hit Albany for the file upload. Diana and I stop the bomb. We synchronize, noon exactly. And if something goes wrong? Sarah asked. Marcus met her eyes. Then we improvise. Victor opened his case, revealing weapons, communications gear, and false credentials. Your father would be proud, he told Sarah. You're finishing what he started. Sarah picked up a pistol, checking its balance. No, I'm ending it. All of it. After tomorrow, there won't be enough left of Cromwell's network to threaten anyone. Marcus saw the determination in her face. Not vengeance anymore, but justice. The transformation from Silver Girl to Sarah Mitchell was complete. Get some rest, he said. Tomorrow, we stop a war. As the others dispersed, Sarah caught his arm. Marcus, if we don't make it, we will. But if we don't? She pulled him closer, whispered, My real name isn't Sarah. It's Sana. My father changed it to protect me. The intimacy of the confession caught Marcus off guard. Sana Mitchell. Just Sana. She smiled sadly. Sarah dies tomorrow, one way or another. Noon approached like a ticking bomb. Marcus stood in the Monaco Convention Center's service corridor, Diana beside him, both dressed as security contractors. Through his earpiece, he heard Sarah's voice from Albany, 400 miles away. In position. 17 seconds until Hoffman triggers the reboot. Copy that, Marcus replied. We're moving on the device. The diplomatic pouch sat in a secured room, 3 floors below the main summit hall where 500 delegates debated the future of international security. Cromwell was up there, playing statesman, unaware his carefully orchestrated chaos was about to collapse. Marcus, Diana whispered, checking her weapon. If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, I need you to know, Ryan's death wasn't your fault or mine. It was Cromwell. Before Marcus could respond, explosions rocked the building. Not the radiological device. These came from above. Precisely placed charges that sent delegates screaming for exits. Cromwell's distraction, right on schedule. Now, Marcus said. They moved fast, Diana's clearance getting them past the first checkpoint. The second required biometrics. Marcus pressed a device Ryan had built against the scanner, his last gift, delivered through Diana. The light turned green. In Albany, Sarah and Victor were ghosts in the machine. The 17-second window had worked perfectly. They were inside, uploading terabytes of evidence to every major intelligence network simultaneously. Blackwater's sins, Prometheus's blueprint, names, dates, financial trails, everything. Upload at 60%, Sarah reported. But Marcus, we've got company. Cromwell's cleanup crew just arrived. Gunfire erupted through the comm. Marcus forced himself to focus. The device was just ahead, in a lead-lined case marked with diplomatic seals. Diana worked on the lock while Marcus covered the door. How's your girlfriend doing? She asked, trying for levity. She's not my... More gunfire from Sarah's end. Just crack the case. It opened with a soft hiss. Inside, enough radioactive material to contaminate half of Monaco. The timers showed 3 minutes. Can you disarm it? Marcus asked. Diana studied the mechanism. Not in time. But I can reduce the yield, contain most of the radiation. Give me 90 seconds. Through the earpiece, Victor's voice. Sarah's hit. We're pinned down. Marcus's blood froze. How bad? Shoulder wound, Sarah gasped. Upload at 85%. Just need another minute. Above them, Cromwell's voice echoed over the convention center's PA system, calling for calm, promising security. The consummate leader in crisis, a crisis he'd created. Done, Diana announced, stepping back from the modified device. It'll still detonate, but the blast will be contained to this room. Then we run. No. Diana pulled out handcuffs, locked one to the case, the other to her wrist. Someone needs to ensure it stays contained. Go stop Cromwell. Diana, this is my redemption, Marcus. For Ryan, for all of it. Go. Marcus ran. Behind him, Diana Cross sat with a nuclear device, calmly reading its timer down. Above him, Thomas Cromwell was about to discover his empire's collapse. The summit hall was chaos, delegates evacuating, security swarming. Cromwell stood at the podium, the eye of the storm. He saw Marcus approaching, and his face shifted from surprise to rage to something like admiration. "Marcus Reed," he said into the still active microphone. "The prodigal son returns." "It's over, Cromwell. The files are public. Every agency in the world is reading about Blackwater right now." "Upload complete," Sarah's voice in his ear, getting Victor out. "The building's surrounded, but, Marcus, I'm sorry." He understood. She wasn't coming back. Cromwell drew his weapon, but Marcus was faster. The shot echoed through the hall, and the director of the world's most powerful shadow network crumpled to the stage. Marcus stood over his former mentor. "That was for Ryan." Cromwell laughed, blood bubbling from his lips. "You think you've won?" "I'm just middle management, boy. The real power?" He coughed, eyes dimming. "The real power never shows its face." He died with a smile, taking his secrets with him. The timer in the basement reached 0. The explosion was muffled, contained, Diana's sacrifice working perfectly. The building shook, but stood. Marcus walked out of the convention center as sirens wailed and helicopters circled. His phone buzzed, an encrypted message from Sarah. "Sana is dead." Sarah Mitchell never existed. But somewhere, someone will remember what we did. "Take care, Marcus, until our paths cross again." He deleted the message and kept walking. 6 months later, Marcus sat in a cafe in Lisbon, reading about the ongoing trials. Dozens of intelligence officials arrested, networks dismantled. The word Blackwater, now synonymous with corruption. A woman sat down across from him. Short blonde hair, green contact lenses, but those storm gray eyes were unmistakable beneath. "I heard you were looking for a partner," she said with a slight smile. Marcus signaled the waiter for another coffee. "I heard you were dead." "I am. But sometimes ghosts have unfinished business." Outside, the world continued, unaware that its guardians sat in a small cafe, planning their next impossible mission. Silver Girl was gone, but Sarah, Sana, and Marcus Reed had just begun.